the top 2 students based on the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examinations, CAPE, the 2 top students based on the Caribbean Secondary Examination Certificate, CSEC, the 2 top students based on the Secondary Entrance Assessment, and this year, the President's Medal for Technician students. Students who are recipients of these awards represent the quintessence of the students' outcomes we in the Ministry of Education are pursuing in developing a quality education system. Lest I'm mistaken, I'm not simply speaking of academic achievement, which is the basis for these awards, but also those attitudes, values, dispositions we are trying to develop in our students. Today, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate all our recipients of the President's Medal as we recognize and celebrate their success. You have made your parents, teachers, the school, in fact, you've made all of us very proud. Aristotle said, "Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny." Clearly, many of you have made the right choices. I would like to also publicly acknowledge and congratulate all our parents, teachers, and all those who have taken the time to get involved in their children's education. Within recent times, a number of questions have been asked about the effectiveness of our schools. It is a multifaceted conversation and one that evolves with each generation of students. While the context of schooling is important, there are attributes and factors, however, that contribute to effectiveness across schooling contexts. The Ministry of Education, in reviewing these attributes and factors, has developed a comprehensive school-based management system which comprises a number of elements. I'll go through these quickly, time doesn't permit to go through in detail. First area, leadership and management. This involves training of school personnel, principals, vice principal, and middle management team. The objective is to improve the school improvement planning process, and I can share with you that currently all our schools, both at the primary and secondary levels, have developed school improvement plans, and we are in the process of working these plans through the implementation. Another area of focus is curriculum and instructional delivery. Under this component, we are looking at adaptation of curricula to cater for all the learning needs of our students. And to this end, we have already rolled out a system of clinical supervision in secondary schools, and we are currently rolling those out at the primary school level. Teachers and teacher development and management. Teachers must be trained in pedagogy to ensure that the curriculum is delivered so that each student understands and benefits. Training in pedagogy is being expanded to include the preliminary screening of students so that the needs of individual students can be identified. And again, I can tell you, currently we have a cohort of teachers who are involved in training in infusion ICT into the curriculum. Examination, testing, and assessment. And here we are not just talking about formative exams, that is, examination that teachers use in classrooms to improve teaching and learning, but also the use of examination data to drive decision making. I can therefore tell you that at the primary level, we have used data and we have taken a significant number of schools out of academic watch and are now mostly effective. We continue, and our minister has spoken to this on a number of occasions, where we look at improving the infrastructure and the conditions at our schools. Schools that are safe, secure, and aesthetically pleasing and are conducive to learning, and we continue to work in this regard. Another key area involves key stakeholder engagement. And some time ago, I spoke to a number of educators in the meeting that I attended. And in one particular country who is at the top of international benchmarking, a person said to me, one of the things we do before anything else is we get everybody involved. And therefore, part of our trust is to get everybody involved, not just school personnel, all our stakeholders, including parents. I just want to touch on one other area, and one of the areas where a lot of negativity has been highlighted, and that is the issue of violence and indiscipline. The Ministry of Education has embarked on a systematic, school-based, data-driven strategy in promoting discipline in our schools. This involves a number of components: training in a number of areas: conflict resolution, group identity, communication skills, problem solving, anger management. It involves a parenting and education program. It involves enhanced supervision of students. It involves student engagement through a number of activities: student councils, prefect systems, cadets, scouts, Girl Guides, and other extracurricular activities. We have ongoing training for principals, deans, teachers, heads of department in areas such as classroom management, conflict resolution, problem solving, and we have also partnered with other ministries, Ministry of National Security, Ministry of Health, other ministries in terms of engaging the services to support this initiative. As I said, time doesn't permit to go into all that we are doing at the ministry. But as ladies and gentlemen, I just want to signal that in the ministry, we are about doing things differently towards bringing about the changes we desire. As I end, I would like to once again congratulate our awardees and to leave the words of Steve Jobs, the American information technology entrepreneur and inventor, who said, "Your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living the result of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinion drown your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and your intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Citron. It's always good to know that the ministry is working hard to ensure that our young people go further in their education. As we continue with this evening's program, I would like to now invite the Honorable Minister of Education, Mr. Anthony Garcia, to bring his address. Honorable Minister.
His Excellency Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, O.R.T.T, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, and Mrs. Carmona, Minister in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Lovell Francis, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mrs. Leonard Baptiste Simmons, Mr. Hiralal Sicharan, Chief Education Officer, other senior officials of the Ministry of Education, teachers, parents, students. Today, I am very happy to celebrate with you the recipients of the President's Medals for your excellence in your academic pursuits. I am heartened to know that our young people can be so committed to putting in the hard work that is needed to achieve these results. I also noted that none of you expressed that you were able to do this alone. There was support from your parents and families, and a heavy emphasis was placed on how much your teachers impacted on your being here today and reaching this stage in your academic journey. I am taking this opportunity now to thank all those persons who contributed to getting you here today. You are examples of what is achievable if we work together with our young people. There are constant complaints and issues raised about students who are not doing well, and I believe that the students who are doing well, who are putting in the work, who continue to excel, must be highlighted and congratulated. It seems to be human nature, and many of you may have heard it said before that a person can do 99 things right and no one notices. But if that person does one thing wrong, everyone will notice. Parents, students, teachers, I want us to work together to change that mentality that continues to plague us. Be proud of your 99% of successes. Parents and teachers, encourage and praise your children and the students when they do well. Make their successes the area that you focus on and work with them to do better in the moments when they do not succeed in the way in which you or they would like. Far too often, we allow the negatives to outshine the positives, and it is time we do things differently. Students, your hard work has paid off today, and you will remember this day for a very long time. You are the recipients of an education that has afforded you the opportunity to be here today. You represent the secondary entrance assessment, the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, and the Technical Vocational Training. This year, it gives me great pleasure to see the reintroduction of an award for the pursuit of technical vocational study. This is extremely important as we must highlight and celebrate all of our learners and the different types of education that our system provides. Teachers, I am speaking to you directly. I thank you for the work that has gone on to produce these awardees. Learning is not achieved until teaching is done. This quote resonates with me, and I would like you to give it some thought. Our students cannot learn unless our teachers are teaching, and I implore you teachers to continue to aim for excellence. I ask of teachers not to rely solely on supplemental material to do the teaching for you, textbooks, the internet, and other resources that may be available. These resources cannot in any way replace the knowledge that is gained from that direct interaction with a teacher. Teachers, continue to put your best foot forward and work with your students to ensure the best results. Students, as you leave here today, take with you a goal in mind. Ask yourself, what do I want to do next? Always challenge yourself to be better than last success. This is but one step in your journey, and I know that each of you has much more in store to offer to Trinidad and Tobago. For the students moving on to higher education that may pursue studies outside of Trinidad and Tobago, be a proud Trinbagonian wherever you go. Let anyone who will listen hear about your country, Trinidad and Tobago, where you are from, and encourage them to come and visit, be ambassadors to this beautiful country of ours. Of course, this should be done while simultaneously maintaining your academics. Students, parents, teachers, again, let me offer my congratulations to all of you. The government of Trinidad and Tobago will continue to make avenues for education accessible. We'll continue to provide good quality education and equitable to all our students. Continue to aim for success in all your endeavors. And remember to keep your 99% flying high and work on the 1% you wish to improve in the background. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We are absolutely sure, we know that it's true that so much focus often takes place on the negatives that we often forget the excellence that our young people are capable of achieving. And on that mark, I'd really like to give our awardees another round of applause for a job well done over that academic year. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, we've reached part in the program where we'll now honor our awardees and our students. So we'd like to go into the awards at this time. The President's Medal Gold for Higher Education is awarded to the highest performing student at the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination 2017, 2 categories. Category 1 comprises Environmental Studies, Information and Communication Technology, Mathematics, and Natural Sciences grouping. This year, this award goes to Sanjali Maharaj, former student of St. Augustine Girls High School. Sanjali Maharaj is the daughter of Dr. Paramananda Maharaj and Mrs. Sandra Gajraj Maharaj, and the big sister of Anushri. She attended Bright Ideas Prep School, El Dorado South Hindu School, and St. Augustine Girls High School. She is at present studying engineering sciences at the University of Toronto. In CSEC 2015, Sanjali attained grade 1 in all 10 subjects, and she also achieved CSEC Regional Merit List ranking, placing first in both mathematics and Spanish, third in biology, and 7th in additional mathematics. The President's Medal Gold for Higher Education is also awarded in the 2nd category. Category 2 comprises Business Studies, Creative and Performing Studies, General Studies, Language Studies, Humanities, and Technical Studies grouping. This year, this award goes to Vishala Goon, former student of Lakshmi Girls Hindu College. Vishala always believed in the importance of education and thus gave priority to her studies. She received 7 grade 1s at the CSEC level in additional mathematics, English, economics, mathematics, principles of accounts, principles of business, and Spanish. In 2016, Vishala ranked first on the Cape Regional Merit List for Accounting Unit 2. Furthermore, in 2017, she secured first place in Economics Unit 2 and second place in Management of Business Unit 2. Collectively, at the Curriculum of Cape examinations, she attained 8 distinctions, which enabled her to receive an open scholarship for business and the President's Medal for Higher Secondary Education. The President's Medal Gold for Technician Students, Open, is awarded to the highest performing student at the National Examinations Council examinations for 2017. This award goes to Keelan Smith Samsundar, former student of the MIC Institute of Technology. Keelan began his academic career at the Felicity SDMS Primary School. From there, he moved on to the Waterloo Secondary School, which is where he discovered his love for technical drawing. He credits the excellent tutelage of Mr. Gobin as having contributed to his success at his secondary level examinations, in which he gained a distinction in his favorite subject, technical drawing, alone with 6 others passing grades. Keelan's desire to further his knowledge in technical drawing led him to pursue his passion for the technical field at the MIC Institute of Technology, where he successfully attained his certificate for General Draftsmanship Technician. This certificate comprised a multitude of courses, including architectural drawing, engineering drawing, geometrical drawing, survey drawing, and mathematics. The President's Medal Gold for Secondary Education is awarded to the most outstanding student at the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examinations for 2017. This award goes to Genevieve Ramnarine, a student of St. Augustine Girls High School. Genevieve has always demonstrated a passion for learning and achieved considerable success at Roundtree Montessori Academy in Ontario, Canada, with achievements both academically and artistically. When Genevieve started her secondary school education at St. Augustine Girls High School here in Trinidad, she was extremely excited and embraced her school with great pride, enthusiasm, and enjoyment as she applied herself to all areas of the arts, modern studies, and the sciences. Genevieve's unwavering dedication and commitment to her studies resulted in the successful achievement of 12 grade 1s with an all-A profile in the CSEC examinations in additional mathematics, biology, chemistry, English A, French, geography, history, information technology, mathematics, music, physics, and Spanish. Very long list. The President's Medal Silver for Secondary Education is awarded to the second most outstanding student at the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate Examinations for 2017. This award goes to Dania James, a student of NAPA Girls High School. Dania epitomizes a beautiful synergy of the academics, the arts, and her Christian faith. She achieved 11 grade 1s, 10 of them all A profiles in the CSEC examination 2017, in additional mathematics, biology, chemistry, geography, mathematics, physics, Spanish, theater arts, visual arts, English A and English B, in which she placed 5th in the Caribbean. Dania is currently pursuing 6 subjects at Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination: biology, chemistry, pure mathematics, applied mathematics, communication studies, and Caribbean studies. The President's Medal Gold for Primary Education, which is awarded to the most outstanding student at the Secondary Entrance Assessment Exams 2017. This year is awarded to Lexi Balchan, a former student of the Point Fortin Astra Primary School. Lexi is a diligent student who revels and excels in extracurricular activities as well as academics. Some of these activities include tennis, archery, Red Cross, drafts, and ballet. In her spare time, she engages in arts and craft with her little sister, Leah. She is an avid reader, and she also has a keen passion for astronomy and hopes to one day become a scientist. Lexi has represented her alma mater in several competitions, including the National Mental Maths Marathon, in which she was a finalist. Lexi has excelled throughout her duration at the primary school level and graduated as class valedictorian, the most outstanding student of 2017. She was also awarded for outstanding performance in mathematics, mental maths, and tennis. And our final awardee for this evening, the President's Medal Silver for Primary Education, is awarded to the second most outstanding student at the Secondary Assessment Examinations 2017. This award goes to Jordana Mahabir, former student of the Gandhi Memorial Vedic Primary School. Jordana is a quiet, simple, unassuming, yet exceptionally brilliant student who brought honor and glory to her family, school, and church when she captured second place in the SDA examinations. Growing up, her life channeled around books, and as a result, she is a voracious reader. At a very early age, she developed a passion to study medicine, following in the footsteps of her two cousins in medical school. Jordana's interests were expedited and fueled by her mother, aunts, and uncles as they invested in many books and computer devices to assist in her quest for academic excellence. Her kindness to others, positive outlook, perseverance, commitment, humility, good moral values, and faith in God will be the platform that will further ignite her journey to her future successes and endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings an end to our awardees. I'd like us to give a lusty round of applause once again for all of our awardees this evening. Honorable Minister, distinguished guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, at this time, His Excellency Anthony Thomas Aquinas Carmona, O.R.T.T, SC, President of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, has kindly consented to say a few words. Your Excellency, please.
Her Excellency, Mrs. Rima Carmona, First Lady of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable Anthony Garcia, Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Lovell Francis, Minister of State in the Ministry of Education, Ms. Lenore Batiste, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mr. Harilal Sicharan, Chief Education Officer, Ms. Sharon Ashman John, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Dr. Ganel Holdip, Manager of the Scholarships and Advanced Training Division, Mr. Linsley Dudai, President of the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association, Ms. Raifia Ali Buru Singh, President of the National Parent Teachers Association, principals, distinguished teachers, other distinguished guests, educators, administrators, educational professionals, awardees, friends, families, and well-wishers, members of the media, and a very good evening to every one of you here. I revel in the youthful energy displayed and the good vibes that fill the auditorium this afternoon. Hundreds of progressive young people who have traveled from far and wide to attend this celebration of youth prowess, success, and excellence. It is both my honor and also a humbling experience to be in the presence of Generation Next. That you who would lead this country of ours, the Caribbean, and the world through your insightful dispensation as future CEOs, doctors, attorneys, politicians, diplomats, laborers, gardeners, agriculturalists, social activists, and religious leaders. You young people continue to be one of my reliable, all-weather sources of inspiration as president, as you are providing much-needed light and positive advocacy in our sometimes national darkness. You are the solutions to our national frailties, whether it be indifference to a just cause or apathy in the light of climate change, skewed vision in this era of global enlightenment, disrespect, or a lack of compassion and mercy. You have displayed enlightenment more often than not. And when you are enlightened, the imperative is that you must light up other people's world. Every month, I have been meeting you by the hundreds at my office, at school, at functions. And I will continue to speak to you the language of empowerment. I know you are on the same wavelength with me because you recognize that education is that magical key that opens all the doors of opportunity. Holistic education creates platforms of empathy and the recognition for social action and change that benefit all, not some. No matter who you are, no matter where you come from, no matter what you do, no matter the challenging circumstances, education is the tool of ultimate transformation and regeneration. A special hail up and a heartfelt congratulations to all the awardees, disciplined, hardworking, dedicated, and ambitious young women, and the solitary man. As I call your names, I would like you to stand, and we, the audience who are so proud of you, will applaud your success. Every year before this function, I always meet the awardees, yes, beforehand, because I want them to feel comfortable, not nervous, so that when we break the ice at this actual ceremony, there'll only be ice cubes. Sanjali Maharaj, President's Medal for Higher Education Gold. And Sanjali, when I met you for the first time on Monday afternoon, because you were not available with the other students on Friday, because of course you are bang in the middle of exams at your Canadian university. And you came down on that red-eye flight on Friday night. I was impressed by your sense of life vocation, engaging in volunteerism, specifically with the Autistic Society and persons suffering with autism spectrum disorder. Yes, one good thing about SAGs is that they are busy always preaching social consciousness. And you exemplify this. I want to thank you very much for coming back and forth as you do. And when you leave us tomorrow, you go back to Canada, bang into exams. So I wish you all the best. And I have to thank you for affording us the pleasure of your presence to be here with your family. Because it was so easy to tell mommy and daddy I have exams, given the level of commitment you have shown throughout your entire life and through your burgeoning career. So keep up the great work and all the best. Sanjani Maharaj. Vishal Lagoon, President Medal for Higher Secondary Education Gold. Vishala, I want to tell you how impressed I was when you came with your parents and you brought with us your autistic brother. And your autistic brother is here. And I like to hail you up, to champion your sense of inclusivity, that your brother is part of your loving family. and that you were prepared to share him with the world and bring him to the office of the president. Again, I have to thank your parents, and I have to thank your school at Lashmi Girls for nurturing that depth and that level of social consciousness, and more importantly, that milk of human kindness. I wish you all the best. Keep your focus, keep your vision, and be the best that you can be. We shall go. Genevieve Ramnarayan, President Medal's goal for secondary education at CSEC. Yes, Genevieve, it was indeed a great pleasure, because the minute you walked into my office, I felt a sense of order and purpose. Your father told me you lived in Canada for a little while, and that you have always, in fact, been very, very concerned about your education, and that you have continued to keep that focus that you had in Canada, and that you continue to share that focus with your colleagues at school. Again, continue that sense of order that you have in your life. You spread that sense of discipline to all those you encounter, and always continue to maintain your sense of passion for what you want to do and the exceptional human being that you will become. Congratulations, Genevieve Ramnarayan. Dania James from NAPA Girls High School, President Medals winner for secondary education silver. Dania, it was indeed a joy to meet your parents. Very loving people, very intelligent, and very focused. I don't know if your father returned, but he's abroad. And of course, he's here with Spirit. Her father is in fact a ship pilot. And he had to leave the very evening, Friday evening, he came to my office to catch a flight to Denmark because of work. And he decided to run the risk of missing the flight. But we at the Office of the President ensured that he didn't. So that I spent a little time with him. But I was able to listen to your mom, like the other parents who have displayed the necessary grit in ensuring that your child succeed. But I listened to you. I listened to your heart, and I listened to your soul. And there was a sense of advocacy and humanity that I was so heartened coming from someone at your age. And I had to write it down because what you said was downright inspirational. And I quote, she said, "Education is not simply an academic journey, but an opportunity to develop yourself holistically so that you can make a positive contribution to your world." And I love your worldview. You didn't say Trinidad and Tobago. You didn't say the Caribbean. You said the world. And I do congratulate you for having that benchmark philosophy to take on the world. Congratulations, Ms. Dania James. It gives me great pleasure to mention Keelan Samsudar, the President Medal for Technical Students on Gold. Keelan, thank you for breaking that trend of woman power, full stop. Keelan, it was indeed a pleasure. I admire your sense of humility, the fact that your mom gushed with pride when you came to my office. And she told us that you wanted to pursue a career in teaching. And what was interesting is that she had no doubt that you would excel. Because she said, in fact, from a tender age, you always excelled and showed a great aptitude in drawing. So when I saw you at the office of the president, I felt her electricity. I felt her sense of pride. And more importantly, I felt your quiet distinction and the fact that you were prepared to go beyond the average, to go beyond mediocrity and excel in a field that, of course, the Honorable Minister indicated is one that we must not underestimate or underappreciate, and one where there is a great demand. Because whatever the field of your endeavor, if you're good at it, if you're exceptional at it, we will call you genius. So I hope, in fact, sir, that you go on to higher heights, keep up the great work, and give back, as you said that you would, to your community when, in fact, you're walking the corridors of power. Congratulations, Mr. Keelan Samsuda. Again, in fact, it gave me great pleasure to meet once again, because I met her before, she coming to a function at the office of the president, and I refer to Lexi Balchan, the President Medals winner for SCA Primary School Education Gold. And Lexi, again, I felt like in the others, your sense of purposefulness, that you want to be a scientist. And that, for me, it was really special when I heard that Point Forte Astra had topped the SCA, a pupil from that school had topped the SCA examination. Because many times in Trinidad and Tobago, we feel that the only things that Point Forte can produce are sportsmen. Yes, they produce excellent sportsmen. But of course, I'm privy to a lot of friends of mine in Point Forte who have done outstandingly well in academia. But you, it was special. The entire community was blown away by your performance. Because sometimes when you live down in the country, and of course, Dr. Francis Lovell Francis can relate to it as I can, you sometimes feel left behind. You sometimes feel marginalized. And Point Forte luxuriated in your success. But also, I saw the glint and magic in your sister's eye, your small little sister, who is here today and who is promising to do the same thing that you have done in years to come. I want to thank you very much for being the nice person that you are, like all of you here, and keep up that character, that spirit, and that sense of humanity that you have always displayed by what you have stated and how you have dealt with others in your classroom and at NAPA Girls. So congratulations and all the best in the future, Lexi Balchan. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Jordana Mahabir, President Medal for Primary Education Silver. And Jordana, again, I can tell you, because of course I know people from Gandhi Memorial Verdict School, they were elated by your performance. They're even more elated by the kind of person that you are, the caring soul, the fact that you want to do gynecology. You want to be a gynecologist, want to be a medical doctor, because you want to bring life into this world. And what was amazing is that when I raised the issue of you doing a subspecialty, you agreed that that is where you were going, that you were not prepared to simply be a general practitioner. And I'm not dishing general practitioners, but we live in a world that is complex. in terms of health. We live in a world with all types of cancer, all type of debilitation because of our unhealthy eating and unhealthy lifestyle. And you would have heard my wife, Her Excellency, speak at length upon NCDs, non-communicable diseases, strokes, heart attacks. And you can make a difference. You can make a great difference, saving lives and preventing trauma from families prematurely. So I want you to do the best you can be. Go to the best schools, wherever they are, and be the top of your game. And as I've told all of you all, when you become your professionals, that I know you would become, you go back to your communities, and every month, at least once a day, you give free medical aid, free advice for those persons in your communities. And you all promise that you will do it. And I know you will. Congratulations, Jordana Mahabir. You see, ladies and gentlemen, I continue to appreciate the impact of good parenting and the power of love in the success of these 7 awardees, supported by a caring family circle, an indomitable, inspirational principals, and committed, passionate teachers. I recall in our conversation, speaking about mentorship, when you all came to my office. And it is the buzzword of persons with great hearts and great minds. And remember I told you all that in my life, my greatest mentors were my parents. And they never went to secondary school. Yet they were intelligent, well-read, considerate, kind, respectful, and helpful to everyone they encountered. And their mentorship of my siblings and I, like many in the oil towns and villages I grew up in, were always supported and encouraged by principals and teachers, not the other way around. Parents were not allowed or encouraged to abdicate their responsibilities of being primary mentors to their children. As mentors, we must demand that parents take up the mantle of primary mentorship. We live in a land where far too often parents are allowed to do whatever they want and blame others, including teachers, principals, and schools, for the poor stewardship of their children, the poor stewardship that is being inculcated at home. In other words, I feel that the approach of the teacher or the school or the principal from whom mentorship is demanded should be, I want to be a mentor, and I shall be a mentor. But daddy or mommy or both, you have to walk that road of mentorship with me and not behind me, and certainly not hidden behind me. Therefore, I can tell you I have been privileged to meet both mentoring parents and mentoring teachers working hand in hand, and the result is what we have here today: unadulterated excellence and a wonderful display of genuine humanity from all of these stellar awardees. This year, for the first time in the history of these awards, I have attempted to give a further sense of indelibility to our ceremony. For I have presented each President's Medal recipient this year with a presidential scroll that proclaims each recipient's act of excellence, commending them for their outstanding achievements. Those who I have presented medals to over the last 4 years will not be left out, I will be preparing and presenting scrolls in similar terms, hopefully before the end of the year, to those past recipients. These presidential scrolls will give added credence and be an affirmative stamp to the remarkable achievements of our presidential scholars. You will now have a presidential instrument that will remind you of your inspirational success achieved in the year 2017, and all for those who achieved similar successes from 2013 to 2016. We must be a society that cultures and inspires success, greatness, and excellence. And it must begin from those at the top, and acknowledging the phenomenal efforts and contribution of our young people. In this regard, Honorable Minister, I would like you to consider whether the time has come to award the top CSEC students with full-blown scholarships, given the fact that their performance allows for matriculation to both Cape and to university. Collectively, as a nation, in order to achieve real, genuine development concomitant with international benchmark standards of operation, we must adopt international instruments and protocols as our guiding philosophy. There must be no implementation deficit, no intransigence or indifference in the actualization of such philosophies. And one such guiding global philosophy is the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals Agenda, where the United Nations have set 17 Sustainable Development Goals for global human development. I therefore want each of you here, each of you, each student, to minister to and advocate for these goals, for adherence to such will make this world of ours a better, nicer, and more humane place. Yes, it is a mighty task. There is a disturbing perception that you must be in a position of authority, power, have money, paisa, or great social status to make a positive difference and effect change in our society. Need I remind you that some of the greatest changes that have taken place in this world of ours have been by persons, including children, who were neither elected, appointed, or socially placed. The reality is simple. Things done in a meaningful and committed way with the passion can yield exceptional results. Let me give you an example. Only yesterday, I attended the launch of the Carbon Neutral Initiative and pledging ceremony at my alma mater, Presentation College San Fernando. Presentation College San Fernando is taking a leading role in the fight against climate change, partnering with the Carbon Zero Initiative of TNT, sees it with the aim of becoming a carbon neutral institution, the first and only school in the Caribbean to engage such an initiative thus far. This laudable initiative can be used as a template for other schools to follow as we attempt to curb the ravages of climate change. In passing, it represents the national collaboration and cooperation that are required of us all to make a difference. I therefore look forward to your teachers, your principals, your supervisors, possibly engaging in collaboration among all schools to be part and parcel of that climate change revolution that must be invoked, that must be realized by small island development states, SIDS. For ladies and gentlemen, let no one fool you. We are on the edge of a precipice when in fact we are talking about climate change. But what is interesting is that this project at Presentation College San Fernando is directly in sync with Goal 6, clean water and sanitation. Goal 7, affordable and clean energy. Goal 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal 12, responsible consumption and production. Goal 13, climate action. Goal 14, life below water. And Goal 15, life on land, of the Sustainable Development Goals agenda. Imagine, with this one secondary initiative, secondary school students are on board with 7 of the 17 goals, pointing to our adult population what can be accomplished by exercising prudent environmental responsibility. In passing, I have to admit I am heartened to learn of Trinidadian Dr. Marissa Gorey being awarded a United Nations Environment Program Policy and Implementation Leadership Award. The Deputy Environmental Manager, National Ozone Officer at the Planning and Development Ministry, was one of 15 recipients out of a total of 197 parties in the world to win, to be recognized. She has for over 10 years been dedicated to the phasing out of ozone-depleting substances in this country. It speaks to the power of dedication and consistent advocacy. I can breathe a great sigh of relief that our young people are taking charge of that vanguard movement of relentless and tireless advocacy and action to protect and cherish Mother Earth. My dear young people, penultimately, I urge you all as you grow, flourish, and prosper to be men and women of substance, always, always, always. Because what I have found over the course of the years is that when persons are found wanting in substance, they rush to invoke protocol. When you enter the corridors of power and are the helm of organizations locally, regionally, or internationally, and I say when, because inevitably, you all are destined for greatness. You must always bring substance, solution, standards, and vision to the table when dealing with national, regional, and global issues. I am reminded of the words of that reggae lyricist extraordinaire, Chronix, from Jamdong. And I know you all are familiar with his admonition. Substance over hype. Substance over hype. Substance over hype. In other words, sense before sensationalism. And therefore, I will continue to tell every student that I meet that you must always treat people like people. My dear students, compassion, kindness, and the exercise of mercy should never be regarded by you as weaknesses, but rather as strengths and critical features of a progressive man and woman living in a progressive society. You see, ladies and gentlemen, my dear students, genuine inclusivity must be one cause and mindset that remain pivotal in your life, and its core advocacy must address the concerns and afflictions of persons with disabilities. We must always help those who cannot help themselves. And very importantly, more specifically, open doors that have been closed to persons with disabilities. Do you think that we will be judged individually and collectively by how we treat the strong and the powerful? You must be able to stand up to scrutiny when asked, how do you treat the weak? How do you treat the marginalized? How do you treat persons who do not have a voice? And most of all, how do you treat your lesser brethren? Young men and young women, ours is an evolving democracy. And each and every one of us has a right of place and space in that democracy. Genuine democracy gives everyone a voice, and you do not have to be elected, selected, or appointed to have a voice, to do what is right, to condemn what is wrong, and defend what is right. I meet so many young, critical, innovative thinkers among our young people, and that has been one of the hallmarks and defining benefits of being your president. As Chronic Croon, Charman, me do it for the love, sir. Me not do it for the likes. My dear student, it's his way of saying always maintain your sense of passion when you do what you do. Because if you have passion doing what you do, one day you would be exceptional. So let us celebrate this moment of positivity and success and the goodness that is in Trinidad and Tobago. Because I've stated it before and I will say it again, there are far more good people than bad. And no toxic minority in this land of ours must be allowed to thrive. You see, ladies and gentlemen, that crucible of transformation for Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean and the world, rests firmly in the hands, in your hands, you young people, and nobody else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for your very true and very stirring words of encouragement to our young people. Your Excellencies, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for us to change gears. So, before we begin the cultural portion of this evening's program, I'd like to invite the Excellencies and the honorable ministers to please take their seats down at the front of the house. So as the Excellencies and the honorable ministers make their way downstage, I'd like to introduce our first piece of entertainment for this evening. Our first piece of entertainment comes from NAPA Girls High School. We have, yes, a round of applause for NAPA Girls. A round of applause for NAPA Girls. So, representing NAPA Girls, we have Miss Melanie Babulal, Miss Emma Rahman, and Miss Sydney Mohan, who are students of Lower 6 at NAPS. Now, these young ladies have actively participated in the National Music Festival over the years and are members of the school's senior choir and have performed in lead roles at the school's production of The Sound of Music. So, this evening they're going to be doing one of the pieces from that production. Your Excellencies, honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for NAPA Girls High School, Melanie Babulal, Emma Rahman, and Sydney Mohan.
need, all the love you can give. Every day of your life, for as long as you live. Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow, till you find your
Ladies and gentlemen, the girls of NAPA Girls College, I can't even imagine to pull some of those notes there. So, from south, we come back north. Our next performer comes from St. Joseph's Convent, Port of Spain. Anybody from Convent, Port of Spain here? So, she's a fourth form student and is a straight A student who is actively involved in her school's extracurricular activities, UNESCO, choir, horn ensemble, to name a few. She started playing the violin at the age of 7 and the cello 5 years ago under the tutelage of Mr. Kenneth Listrop when she joined the Trinidad and Tobago Youth Philharmonic. Last year, she was awarded a grade 8 merit in violin and a grade 8 distinction in cello. She also plays the steel pan with PCS Nitrogen Silver Stars. Earlier this year, she received the highest award of distinction in cello, thus making her the youngest person to achieve an ATCL Certificate of Diploma in Music in Trinidad and Tobago and the English-speaking Caribbean. Coming to perform for us, a piece called Feel So Good by Chuck Mangione, Miss Chelsea Fensom. Ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea Fensom. Fantastic. Chelsea Fensome, ladies and gentlemen. Our next performer is Ms. Nishta Mohan. She's currently a lower 6 student of St. Augustine Girls High School. Anybody from St. Augustine Girls in the house? All right. So, Nishta participates in many competitions, both locally and internationally, as well as her school events. She is a member of the Marionettes Chorale, and in 2016, she placed 3rd in the North Finals of the music festival. In 2017, she competed in the scholarship competition of Talented Teenagers, SCTT. She represents Trinidad and Tobago in the World Championships of Performing Arts, where she brought home 3 medals, silver in opera, bronze in Latin, and the prestigious Industry Award. Most recently, she placed 3rd in the Mr. and Mrs. NGC Sandfest competition 2017. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for Ms. Nishta Mohan. I can now tick visit classical European opera house off of my bucket list. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, wow. Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing, ladies and gentlemen. We should give her a round of applause. That was just amazing. The MIC Institute of Technology offers different levels of pan music as part of its HYPE construction syllabus. HYPE stands for Helping You Prepare for Employment. Our next set of performers this evening are part of the Year 1 HYPE trainees in Cycle 17. The ensemble is conducted by one of MICIT's most learned pan instructors, Mr. Trevor Valentine, and today they will be performing a classic piece from Frank Sinatra, My Way. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for the MIC Institute of Technology Steel Orchestra. O.R.T.T. Wonderful, wonderful piece of music there, Frank Sinatra's My Way. We seem to have a very classical evening this evening, a very, very classical evening. Well done once again to our young people. For our final piece of entertainment for this evening, we'd like to go to the Lakshmi Girls Hindu College. Any Lakshmi girls in the house? So, this next item will be a classical East Indian dance performed by Ms. Shania Yip Ying, a student of Lakshmi Girls. She's 18 years and is head girl at the institution. Her passion for dance was ignited at the age of 8 years when she began to study of modern contemporary dance and eventually transitioned into Indian classical and folk dance at the age of 14. Shania is presently in upper 6, pursuing her studies in the field of sciences. She is now going to perform for us an invocational dance dedicated to the Hindu god, Lord Shiva. Ladies and gentlemen, Ms. Shania Yip Ying. Wonderful piece, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, can we have a lusty round of applause for Ms. Shania Yip Ying? And in fact, let's have a nice round of applause for all of our entertainment this evening, showcasing once again the talent of our young people who have shown that they are not only academically brilliant, but culturally, classically, artistically brilliant as well. Your Excellencies, Honorable Ministers, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the formal portion of this evening's ceremonies. We do have some refreshments for our guests outside in the main foyer. On behalf of their Excellencies, I would like to thank everyone for taking the time out to come to share this evening with us and to celebrate our awardees. In fact, let's give our awardees another round of applause for their excellent work. And for those of you who are still in the examination phases, you too can also come and be awarded one of these awards next year, probably year after. So just continue to work hard. Remember, as the Minister and the President said, you have your 99%. Work hard to ensure that your 1% pushes you forward. So at this point in time, I would like to ask you all to please stand and hold your places as I ask their excellencies and the honorable ministers to please make their exit off to the VIP room. Thank you very much. And now if I could ask you all to just please hold your places for one moment longer as I ask our awardees if you can please take your exit to the photo area where there should be some official photographs taking place afterwards. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Please feel free to join us for some refreshments outside. Thank you very much for coming.